Hey everyone. I was going to try to do a Facebook Live and I'm having some technical difficulties, but I'm on my way out the door for a very important ministry event. You can see my bags packed right there in the hallway. I was going to put my computer away and I'm like, no, I'm going to do a real quick update for you guys. But we, uh, I was just going through the financials for the upcoming camps in June with some folks on our team, and it's always a little bit scary to share the exact cost of things and the exact amount of fundraising that's come in and everything because it's a little bit vulnerable. I don't want anyone else to have to deal with the anxiety, so usually it's just Brian and I pouring over it, but in that meeting, I was speaking with Michelle Perkins, who we've worked closely with for years, and before Jacobson, we worked together in Virginia. We went to the same church for quite a while. But as I'm sharing with her, we started talking about the story of the multiplication of the loaves and fishes out of John 6. And I had been thinking about that all day long, that day, a couple days ago, and just mulling it around in my spirit. And the thought came to me that when Jesus told the disciples to go feed the people, they hadn't read the chapter, so they didn't know really what was going to happen. And so he's handing out the food to them. And a couple of things struck me fresh and anew when I was thinking about that passage. The first thing is that they had taken the food from Jesus's hand and were distributing it, right? It's not like Jesus broke the bread and all of a sudden there's 1,000 loaves of Wonder Bread and, all the trimmings and there's a full buffet table set out. As he's giving it out, it's being replenished. So I kind of picture that in my hand as him taking from one hand and giving to the disciples to give out. And then it just becomes renewed in his hand. That's important because of all the extra things we've been doing as a ministry team this spring. I'm getting ready next week to go to our Freedom Outreach Spring Conference, which falls just a few weeks before I have to be back in Europe for the spring or for the summer camps. And so I felt conflicted. Should I go and should I serve at that event when I had just come back from Germany last month and just come back from Augusta, Georgia, and getting ready to go to the summer camps? It's just a very, very busy season. And I had peace about all of it, even though it didn't make sense in my head. And the thought of as we're distributing it, it's replenished in the hand of God. And here's the second thing that came to me. It's not like the disciples didn't have needs too, right? They were physical beings, just regular people with regular appetites. They did a lot of walking. They walked everywhere they went with Jesus. So they would have been pretty hungry themselves. They didn't have any guarantee that their needs were going to be met. And I'm saying that because it's not just Brian and I, it is a lot of people on our ministry teams that come and serve by faith that their needs are going to be met. There's several people that have to take unpaid leave to come do this. So I want to say that to be an encouragement that at the end, we see in John 6:13, at the end of that passage, they not only got to eat, but they didn't just get a serving. They each gathered 6 or 12 basketfuls of the leftovers. So here they were because they served others first, not even knowing if their needs were going to be met. At the end of that time, not only were their needs met, but they were more than met. They probably had more than a day or two worth of food in those baskets. So that's just was a big encouragement to me. And even as we're talking about this, yesterday I received this, and I'm not going to turn it around because the person who mailed this check does not want it to be known who they are. But this is a check of matching funds of $5,000 towards the summer camp. We need to raise about 20 right now, which sounds ridiculous, but we spent about 10,000 already of money that we would have saved aside that were not earmarked funds, but we used those funds already. So this is a check for 5,000, which we can deposit in the bank once we receive another $5,000. It was put out as a matching challenge for that amount. And so we are just praying and believing that we're going to be able to meet those matching funds in the next week or two. That would put us so far into meeting our goal. So said all that to say we're not afraid. We don't live in the realm of fear. If we did, we wouldn't have been doing this almost 2.5 decades. We live in the realm of faith, but that doesn't mean that it's still not scary. It doesn't mean that we still don't question sometimes, are we going to eat? Are we going to be able to feed our people? Are we going to be able to make our ends meet? Personally, we know people on our team that are in the same situation, but we trust and believe that when we serve others, as God's called us to do, we bring the gospel to our military youth in these 7 different countries, plus the USA makes the 8th country, that we will have not only have our needs met, but we're going to have funds left over. So please pray with us and agree with our prayer that not only would the needs for this the spring retreat next week, the summer camps coming up, not just ours, but the summer camp in Piancavallo with Ryan and Angie Miller that's coming up the week after, the youth camps, that not only would those needs be met, but there would be the 12 basketfuls left over. There would be so much left over that it would carry through the end of the year and into the next year and help put deposits on maybe even ministry that we have not even been invited or asked to do yet, that we will be. So I just wanted to put out this update and thank you for your prayers for us. Thank you for those of you who've already promoted the GoFundMe. Please, 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 if you haven't done so, copy and paste it. I will relink it. I'm going to try to do that on the flight today. It's a busy, busy season, you guys. But I will relink it. If you could copy and paste that. Anyone can give by going to our website, JacobsGen, G-E-N, not Jen, but jacobsgen.org/donate. And they can give there securely anytime. They can also send it through our Freedom Outreach office. It just needs to be made sure that it's listed on there that it's for the summer camps, or it can be mailed to Brian and I, and our address is 305 Cadet Court, Spring Hill, Tennessee, 37174. Just make the check out to Jacob's Generation or Freedom Outreach Youth. Either way, it goes into the same account. We're a DBA, Jacob's Gen is a DBA of Freedom Outreach Youth, but we'll be able to put that in the account the day that it arrives, and we will keep you updated on all that's happening. So thank you for caring about our military kids that are stationed overseas with their parents, and please continue your prayers for them and for us as we get ready to go and pour into them for an entire week. 6 full days in a row, and that's a tremendous opportunity. So you all know, if you've been to one of our camps, if you've been to a summer camp like this, it is a life-changing week, and I'm not saying that lightly. We have one of our students who you've met through some of our little interviews we're putting out, who's coming back after 23 years. In the early days, he was our student, a punk that swiped my husband's Coke at camp. So if you haven't looked at that interview with Ken Chamberlain, go ahead and look at that if you get a chance to do that. But we hear from our students from years ago, and we know that this has made a big impact in their lives and continues to impact their life after for years down the line. So thank you so much. Please pray for us. We're praying for you, praying for our prayer partners, our financial partners who are our prayer partners, and for the youth and children and families that we serve. Okay, God bless, guys. Bye-bye. I gotta go. I gotta catch a flight. How do I end this thing? Stop.